In 5 minutes, let me prove to you that the Bible is a bunch of nonsense for brainless people. Exodus chapter 9 verse 6. The Bible began to speak. It says, in the 5th week, God killed all the livestock of the Egyptians. Mark the word, all their goats, all their cow, all their oxes. And that same God came down to Exodus chapter 14 verse 9 and began to speak. It says, and Pharaoh went after the Israelites when they have fled with 600 chariots, 600 horses and his chariots. Excuse me, sir. God killed all the livestock living in Egypt on the 5th week in Exodus chapter 9 verse 6. And in Exodus chapter 14 verse 9, Pharaoh still have 600 horses to pursue after the Israelites. This is bunch of nonsense for unreasonable human beings. Joshua chapter 10 verse 12 to 13. The Bible began to speak. It says, and Joshua said to the Lord, let the sun stand still over Gibeon, and let the moon over Ashlon. And the sun stood still until the Israelites won their enemies. Excuse me, sir, we all know today that the reason why there is day and night is because the earth is rotating and not the sun. The sun is a stationary body which never moves at all. So if there are to be any miracle consisting in making the day longer, Joshua would have asked the Lord to pause the speed of the earth rotation and not the sun, because the sun never moves for one day. The sun is a stationary body living on its own. Bible is a bunch of nonsense for brainless human. Journey with me again to the book of Proverbs 15 verse 3. The Bible God begin to speak. It says, the eyes of the Lord is in every place, keeping watch on the good on good and evil. That means the Bible God is claiming omniscience, omni-knowest. He sees all the activities that happens on the earth realm. He came down again to Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10. It says, I am God and there is none like me. Only I can tell you the future before it happens. For everything I plan happens the way I planned it. Isaiah chapter 46 verse 10. This is God claiming all-knowing ability. And that same God came down to Genesis 18 verse 20 and begin to say it. And the Bible says, and God says to Abraham, Genesis 18 verse 20, I've heard a great cry against Sodom and Gomorrah because of their sin, which is too fragrant. I want to go down to confirm if their wickedness is as great as I have heard. If not, I want to know. Excuse me, sir. The omnipotent God want to come down to go to Sodom and Gomorrah to verify if accusation he heard about a nation is true. He cannot dictate that from where he's living in the sky. He has to, and at a certain point, he begins to negotiate with Abraham. He says, if only I can see 50 righteous people in this community, I will no longer destroy them. That means this Bible God lacked the ability to know within his own self whether there are 50 righteous men in that community if he was not verified by Abraham. That same God who told that my eyes is in everywhere, keeping watch on good and evil, in the book of Proverbs 15 verse 3, was the same person who was watching Cain kill his brother Abel. And later he came out to ask Cain. He says, Cain, where is your brother Abel? For the blood of your brother is crying upon my head. That means that Bible God was somewhere watching Cain kill Abel, and he kept that calm. You see, that same Bible God came to Job chapter 1 verse 8 and begin to negotiate with Satan. He says, have you not seen my servant Job? Have you not seen my servant Job, who have been faithful, righteous and perfect in all his ways? And Satan doubted God. He says, did Job fear you for nothing? Have you not put an edge all around him so that nothing can penetrate him? And the Bible declared that God gives Satan, he says, told to Satan, he says, go ye and do with Job whatever your soul desire, but don't touch his soul. So God offered Job as a gambling to Satan to go and play with his wealth, peace of mind and life, just to verify, to know if Job will disappoint him. So God tempts men, knowing fully well that men who have ability to know the future, to see how or the depth of the heart of people, equally put those people to test to know whether what he thought about them is reality. You see that God knows nothing about you. He is just playing gambling on you. This is a shadow boxing. That God is an illusion and does not exist. It's just a carved out European ideology to control or to rule the world. That's the government of the day. That's why the pastors today are called man of God. Man of God is simply a man of the government. The man of the government does a great work in shifting the responsibility of the government to an unexisting Satan. That's why the government can never fight against the church.
Oh, what's up, everyone? It's your boy, the Crackhead, wishing you all a wonderful Sunday. It is guys like this, content creators like this, that actually give me what to talk about and give me, content to make. I like them. And when I respond to contents like this, guys, I am not trying to defend God or the Bible. Who am I? But I'm defending, or I am talking about and saying to the errors of these guys to make them understand that what they actually did was I'm sorry for my French, Facebook was foolish. You know, in life, there are people who take things in context and expatiate it without even looking at the bigger picture, without even going back to start from the beginning of whatever they are analyzing. I'm going to break down this analysis. I'm going to prove this guy wrong right from the very beginning of what he said to the last. And guys, please pay attention. This guy started by saying that the Bible is a lie, that God is a lie, that, he said all manner of things about the Bible and about God with so great passion, as if he is 100% sure of what he's talking about. He made mention of how, God destroyed all the livestock in Egypt, and later in the book of Exodus chapter 14, the Egyptians rode with 600 chariots of horses after the Israelites. Guys, please, again, this is why I'm saying that, most people, they take a certain text and try to explain or analyze without looking at the fuller picture or without going from the beginning. What he said, what happened was in the book of Exodus chapter 14, where the Egyptians pursued the Israelites with 600 chariots. But when God killed all the livestock in Egypt, it was in Exodus chapter 9. Now, from Exodus chapter 9 to Exodus chapter 14, that might have taken a lot of time. Okay, do not think that when the Bible is written, Exodus chapter 1, Exodus chapter 2, it means it was the next day. From Exodus chapter 9 to Exodus chapter 14 might have taken 20 years, 30 years, or even more. We do not know. The Bible doesn't specify. But apart from that, in Exodus chapter 9, before God destroyed all the livestock in Egypt, he told Moses to tell a certain court of Pharaoh, if they want to save their livestock, they should take these livestock out from the field and put it in shelter, so that when the pestilence, when the seventh plague comes to the livestock of the Egyptians, it will not affect them. Moses told people in Pharaoh's court, in Pharaoh's household, and the Bible recorded that those that listened to Moses and took their livestock from the field to a shelter, those livestock were spared. They were not killed. But the ones who refused to listen to Moses, that left them on the field, all their livestock perished. Now again, some livestock were saved. Remember, I told you that from the book of Exodus chapter 9 to Exodus chapter 14 might have taken a long period of time. The livestock of the Egyptians that were in Pharaoh's courts that were saved, don't you think they would have given birth and multiplied to 600 chariots in a long period of time? If you do not think so, ask yourself. I know you still don't believe in the Bible. We understand. But let me just use the story of Noah. How many people got saved when the flood came? It was only Noah and his family. But after that, did they multiply? Yes or no? They multiplied until who and what we are today as part of Noah's generation. So my brother, not all the livestock in Egypt was destroyed. That's number one. The second thing you analyzed was in regards to Joshua telling God to make the sun stand still, and you went ahead to say that that is a lie, because the earth rotates or revolves around the sun, that the sun could never have stood still. Scientists proved that the sun actually stood still. When Joshua made that prayer, he wouldn't have, first of all, Joshua did not have knowledge of geography or the knowledge we have today, that it's the earth that revolves around the sun. Joshua did not know that. We are the ones that know that today. But in the time of Joshua, so many people didn't know. At a point, a lot of people thought the earth was flat. So when Joshua made that prayer for the sun to stand still, he wanted to stand still. Now, it was left for God to know what to do with the sun for it to stand still. And scientists recorded that the sun actually stands still in what we call eclipse of the sun. So that the process of the earth revolving around the sun slowed down in 24 hours. You can make research for yourself. It has been proven that sun actually stood still. And in fact, it's because of that we have the different variations in our natural disasters here on planet Earth. That's number two. The next thing you said was, if God is all-knowing, why did he tell Abraham, I will go down to Sodom and Gomorrah to see if, there are sinners there, because their cry has gotten to me. Again, this guy just used a verse in the Bible when God told Abraham. But let us know how God told Abraham. In the beginning of that chapter, two angels appeared to Abraham as visitors, as guests. Abraham did not even know that they were angels of God. That was God visiting Abraham in human form. Two angels appeared to Abraham and told Abraham that Sarah, Abraham's wife, will bear a son. And Abraham's wife laughed. And the angels asked, why did your wife laugh? You guys know the story. It was when they were leaving Abraham, telling Abraham goodbye, those angels, which are God, told Abraham that we will go down. They are now humans. I will go down. Sorry, was it even two angels or one angel? It doesn't matter. But angel visited Abraham. So it was that angel that told Abraham, I will go down to Sodom and Gomorrah because I have heard their cry. It is too much. Okay, so God already knew what is going on, but now as a human form, he's telling his friend. Remember, the Bible described Abraham as a friend of God. So this is God disclosing his plan to his friend Abraham in a human form as an angel, telling you, I will go down. All right, it's not like God was seated in heaven and told Abraham, where are you? I will go. No, he was now conversing with Abraham. Told Abraham, I will go down to Sodom and Gomorrah because their cry has gotten to me. And Abraham did not want Sodom and Gomorrah to be destroyed. Why? Because he had family in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's Lot. And God, who is all-knowing, knew the number of people who were righteous in Sodom and Gomorrah. But again, he is conversing with Abraham. So because Abraham did not want Sodom and Gomorrah to be destroyed because of his nephew Lot, that was the conversation, the negotiation between Abraham and the angel and God. Because at that time, Abraham knew, okay, there's nothing he could say to persuade God not to destroy the city. So he started asking God, if there are 50 people in Sodom and Gomorrah, would you still destroy it? And he told, if I find, it doesn't mean that God didn't know there are no 50 people. It's a conversation. So as a human form, he tells Abraham, if I find 50 people, I will spare. And Abraham went on to negotiate until it got to number 5. And the angel still told Abraham, if I find 5, but were they up to 5? No, it was just Lot, his wife, his 2 daughters, that's 4. They were not even up to 5 people. And did the angel actually go to Sodom and Gomorrah? Yes. As he promised Abraham, I will go down to see. So the angel went to Sodom and Gomorrah. It was in Sodom and Gomorrah that they wanted, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah wanted to rape the angel. And Lot was begging the people, please, take my daughters instead. These are my visitors. Do you understand? So God knows everything. This was a conversation between God in a human form, in the form of an angel, with his friend. Now, the other part you talked about, if God is all-knowing, why did he ask Cain, where is your brother Abel? As if God didn't know. Also, remember in the book of Genesis, after Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, it was the same question God asked Adam, where are you? Does it mean God didn't know where they were? A lot of you do not know that the forbidden fruit is actually a fruit that God planted in the garden to give us a choice as human beings. It's your choice. So that was the choice, the forbidden fruit God planted in that garden. So between Cain and Abel, God gave both of them choice. Yes, he watches what we're going to do. He watches. He will not stop you from doing it. You have a choice whether to kill your brother Cain or to play nice with him. It's your choice. So when God came down to ask Cain, where is your brother? It didn't mean God didn't actually know what Cain did. Moving ahead, he went about to talk about the story of Job. How Satan wanted to destroy Job and made a negotiation with God. So these guys say that God is gambling with us. First of all, the Bible says that we are clay in the hands of the potter. As the potter, you have the right to do whatever you want to do with the clay. If you want to mold it to a very beautiful vase today and tomorrow you break it down, the clay has no choice. You are the potter. God created us, so he has the right to do whatever he wants to do with us. So whatever he did with Job, yes, he wanted to prove to Satan that Job will not fall. And Satan still negotiated. That is the case of Job. It doesn't mean that God was gambling with him. So anyways, guys, in a nutshell, this guy actually doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks the Bible is fake. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So whatever this guy is thinking, it is his choice. That's the very reason God created him, for him to have that choice. He has his choice to say what he wants to say, and it is your choice also if you want to believe what he's saying. Well, as I started by saying in the beginning, I am not trying to defend God. I am not trying to defend the Bible. I am making this analysis to prove that what this guy is saying is out of context. It's your boy, the Crackhead. Wish you all a wonderful day. Bye for now.